So welcome to Yin Yang Yoga, and tonight we'll need all the players, I think. Let's take our blankets, have a blanket handy, bolster, strap, and blocks. And we'll start in tonight's class sitting on a couple of blocks in a kneeling position. I'm going to look at the posterior chain of the body, the hips and the quads, shoulders. So we've got quite a bit of area. Let's think of ourselves from the back of the neck down to the knees. And notice as you sit on two blocks, notice the feeling in the knees, the quadriceps. This is called Vajrasana or Thunderbolt pose. Let the back of the hands rest, palms face up. If you have knee issues and this is too much, consider bringing more height to your blocks, maybe adding a blanket that's folded up. And if the pressure is on the knee caps from pressure, consider padding the knees or the shins. Close the eyes and notice the feelings. Come into your yin consciousness. Sit up nice and tall. Feel the central axis of the body lift up. Let each new breath become a little deeper. And as you settle into the pose, if you'd like a little more stretch in the quadriceps, the knees, the shins, and the feet, hinge forward, take one block away, and turn the other block onto its edge. I'll demonstrate that. So you come down a little lower and add some sensation to the quads. Come back to your alignment, shoulders back and down. Tune into the sensations from the hips down. Notice how that feels. If it's too much, bring that second block back. Otherwise, hinge forward, rotate the block onto its small edge, and so you start to feel more sensation. So we're playing with our practice of yin skills here. This skill is simply noticing the sensations in the knees, shins, quads, and stopping at the appropriate level of stretch, not too much sensation. Notice if you need to come back to a higher level, or if you're comfortable here. If you're comfortable here and would like to go deeper, bring the knees a little closer, have the feet out to the side, remove that block and come all the way down to the floor between the feet. And notice how that feels. So feeling these different levels of intensity from Thunderbolt pose all the way down to Hero's pose. Feeling that on the knees. So for me that's a little intense, so I'm coming back to the block. taking pressure off the knees. Five more breaths here. Always listening to the body, using that body awareness as your North Star. And remembering different ways of discovering too much intensity is the breath will become choppy, or you'll find yourself holding the breath, or you'll be grimacing, tense. Exhale, come forward, come down onto the belly, straddle the legs into Charlie Chaplin feet, resting the forehead on stacked hands. Crocodile pose. Feel the release in the knees and feel that opening in the thighs. Feel the low back. Bring your elbows up a little further. Exhale, turn the head to the left and rest the side of the head on your hands, feeling that twist in the neck. Feeling a slight stretch in the hip flexors. Start to point the toes. Start to feel a little engagement in the feet. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, turn the cheek to the other side. Feel the sensations in the neck on this side. Bring the head to neutral, lift the head from the hands, prop the elbows under the shoulders. And let's bring a block under the head for now and rest the forehead on the block. Relax the shoulders, palms face down. Inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze the buttocks and push the hips into the ground. Relax to inhale, exhale, squeeze and push. So you're creating a little contraction here in the buttocks, in the glutes, pushing the hips into the earth, feeling the stretch in the hip flexors, and starting to feel the low back in that contraction. Option to stay where you are. If it's too much, come back to crocodile, or lift the head and bring the elbows out a little wider, hands to the edges of the mat, and then begin to straighten the arms. Bring the hands forward if it's too much intensity. Bring the hands back if you'd like more intensity. Feel seal pose. Now feel this on the inside of the knees coming up through the adductors, hips, hip flexors, Feel the shoulders gently pinching towards each other. Low back compressed. Obviously staying only as long as feels right. You can always come back to Sphinx or Crocodile. Notice the sensations change over time. And time is one of the essences of our yin skills. Just waiting, experiencing, and noticing the fluctuations over time. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring the head down, bring the knees towards each other. Stack the hands. And bring the hands under the shoulders, come up onto all fours. Rotate the elbows in and forward and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other and lift the gaze. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little more, lift the gaze. Now exhale, tuck the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone under as far as you can so you feel a stretch in the low back. Draw the navel in towards the spine and up towards the heart. Squeeze the buttocks. Shoulder blades come right apart. Drop the chin down towards the chest. Straighten the arms. And then exhale, sink back into child pose. And feel the quadriceps stretch here, feel the low back stretch. Feel this relationship in child pose to the front of the body, from the toenails to the hip flexors, and the back of the body, from the waist all the way to the back of the skull. So the upper body stretching out in the back, the front body stretching all the way from the hips down to the toenails. Inhale, come up. Rotate the elbows in and forward. Curl the toes. And we're going to lift the knees 2 inches off the mat. Bear pose. Bring the left hand forward and the left foot forward simultaneously, like you're going for a walk as a bear, about 4 inches. Don't let the knee touch. Now bring them back simultaneously and then change sides. Right hand, right foot. Forward 4 inches and then back. We're going to do a few of these. Anytime you need to rest and come into child pose, simply do so. Left hand, left foot. Left hand, left foot back. Right hand, right foot. Right hand, right foot. Now we're going to do a diagonal shift. Left hand, right foot. And back. Right hand, left foot. And back. Left, right, and back. Right, left, and back. Exhale, drop the knees, come back to child pose, and let everything go. Whew. Feel the low back release. Come forward onto the belly and Prop your head up using the right hand. You might like to grab a strap here just in case you need it. Bend the left knee and slide your left hand down to the ankle and pull back and start to stretch out the quadricep in this way. Push the left hip forward so you create a nice shoulder retraction here. Left shoulder comes back, left hip forward. And we're going to roll onto our belly in a moment, still holding the foot. However, if you don't think you can hold the foot, you can start by strapping the strap around the ankle and then roll onto your belly, pulling that foot back towards the glute. So you either have a strap or the hand holding the foot. Work the hand down towards the toes if you can, and pull those toes back towards the hip. Feel this in the hip flexor. Now start to push the hip flexor down and push the foot into your hand or the strap. So you feel the leg trying to push back, and as you do, lift the head and lift the chest and shoulders off the ground and reach your right hand out. Reach your left foot, reach your right foot out, right hand. Now push the left foot into the left hand, lift the left knee, lift the right foot, lift the head, lift the shoulders, and lift the right hand. So everything's off the ground except your hips. Breathing through that, you might even feel yourself rocking forward and backward. And then exhale, release, come into crocodile pose. Stacking the head on the hands. And relax. Turn the head to the left. Let's keep our neck nice and loose tonight, even though we're focusing on a lot of the back area and the hips and the quads. Exhale, turn the head to the right. Bring the head to neutral, tuck the chin towards the chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Roll onto the left side, prop up and grab that right foot. And you can see, as you grab the right foot, you're just pulling it back. Use the strap if you need to. Try to line up that top knee with the bottom knee. Bring the top shoulder back, so we're getting that shoulder retraction on that top shoulder. Now, guesstimate as you roll forward onto your belly, do you need this strap to maintain contact with the foot or not? Come onto the belly. Start to point the toes of the left foot. Reach with the left hand. Pull back on that foot and push the right hip into the ground. So plenty of sensation in the quadricep, in the foot. Reach with that left arm. And as we prepare for archer pose, start to push the foot into the hand. So that tension is going to allow you to lift the head, lift the chest, lift the shoulders, lift the knee. So the foot pushing into the strap or the hand, and then you can lift the hand, left foot. So this is very strong work on the low back. But that strength in your low back, your lower traps, is really going to take good care and alleviate a lot of our back issues. Lift a little more and then release, stack the hands, crocodile. Let's notice the impact of archer pose. Inhale, lift the head, prop the elbows under the shoulders, close enough so the hands can reach the upper arms. Drop the head down, relax the shoulders, feel Sphinx pose. If this is enough, you stay here. Otherwise, let's test out what happened into seal pose. Bring the elbows out wider, hands out to the edges of the mat. Straighten the arms. Big difference. So just notice the impact the quadriceps are having on your back in terms of a back bend. So stretching out the hip flexors, the quadriceps, is going to increase your back flexibility tremendously. Exhale, come down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Press up onto all fours. Lift the tailbone. Lift the tailbone a little more. Retract the shoulder blades. Bring the shoulder blades closer together as you rotate the elbows in and forward. Now lift the gaze. Feel the back body from the tailbone to the neck. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone a little more. Draw the navel in and up. Keep tucking the tailbone. Let the shoulder blades come apart more. Drop the chin, round the back. Keep tucking the tailbone, stretching out the back. Exhale, child pose. Inhale, tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Extend that left leg behind you. Push out through the heel bone to stretch the back of that leg. So we're stretching calf and hamstring. If your wrists are getting tired at this point, come down onto the forearms and continue the stretch using the forearms to alleviate any tension in the wrists, or you could come onto fists if that would help. Some people like to use and hold blocks with their hands as a way to take the pressure off the wrist. But the main thing is we're getting plenty of stretch through the back leg. Inhale, float that left leg up. Drive out through the heel bone. And then bend the left knee and try to bring the left knee to the left elbow. Feel that intensity and then extend back. So you should be feeling that in the left glutes. Let's try it again. Left knee to left elbow. Feel that in the left abdominals. And then back. One more. Left knee to left elbow. And back. Drop the foot. Stretch out through that heel. And step the right foot back into push-up pose. Tuck the tailbone. If you like, drop the knees. We're going to be here for a little while. If you like, come down onto the elbows to take off pressure on the wrists. Push back through the heel bones. Now tuck the tailbone here. Squeeze the buttocks. Tuck the tailbone. Feel the abdominals engage. Take the weight into that right foot. Lift the left knee out to the side and come down onto that left thigh, onto the belly, hands out into goalpost arms, goddess arms. Look at your left elbow, make sure it's 90 degrees bent, flexed, and 90 degrees at the shoulder. And relax. Sink into half frog. Bring both hands behind the back. Right hand is going to hold left wrist. Push that left knee, left ankle out a little more. If your left knee is sensitive, if you have a hard floor, bring a towel or blanket under that left knee through left ankle, so there's no pressure there. If you can, pull those hands up closer towards the shoulder blades so your elbows stick out like little wings. Lift your elbows up like you're trying to flap your wings. And then relax them. Lift up and flap. And relax. Lift up one more time. This time, bring your hands together in prayer position. So your palms are touching. Your fingers are pointing down towards your feet. Your thumbs are resting on your tailbone. Notice how that feels in the shoulders and the arms. If you can, you're going to do what's called reverse prayer. Reverse prayer means the pinky finger side of the hand is going to rest on the spine. The fingertips are going to face the skull. And the thumbs are going to be upwards. Now this is going to put a lot of pressure on the wrists, the shoulders, and the arms. So if you can, if it's available to you, work with reverse prayer. Otherwise, stay in prayer down. So this is a little bit of an advanced mudra. It can be quite strong on the wrist and particularly the right hand. Now, exhale, release the hands and stack the hands under the forehead. Feel that right hip nice and open, left hip nice and rotated outwards. If you'd like to, prop the elbows underneath, hands down, shoulders back and down. Rotate the hands out to the side, coming into seal pose if that's appropriate. So we're continuing this theme of opening up that right hip flexor, left adductor, but we're coming into the back bend again. Exhale, come down, elbows down, knee comes back in, crocodile pose. Notice the difference between the left hip and the right hip. Hands under shoulders, let's come up onto all fours, cat and cow. Notice how the spine is feeling. Inhale, expand the back, the right leg back, drop the ball of the foot. Let's press through the heel bone and stretch the back of the right leg. Remember, you have the elbow option. If you've had we've worked the wrists quite a bit today, so if they're tired, give them a rest in whatever configuration you'd like, because we want to put a lot of pressure on the calf muscle and the hamstring stretch here. We need to push back into that stretch. So take care of the wrists and the hands. Let's float that right foot up. And we're going to bring the right knee to that right elbow and touch. So you feel the right obliques, the right abdominals really working here. Big core exercise, and then push back. Push out through the heel, roll the right hip down. Toes and knees point to the ground. Let's try that again. Right knee, right elbow. Good. Back. One more. And back. Drop that ball of the right foot. Push out through the heel. Now squeeze the buttocks. Push through the right heel and float the left foot back into high plank. So now your whole body is off the ground. If you need to drop your knees, drop the knees. Tuck the tailbone. Engage the abdominals here. This is what's going to hold plank. You want the torso to be rigid. And then float that right foot up. Bring the right knee out to the right. And we're going to come down into half frog on the right side. Elbows out 90 degrees. Feel the head turning towards that right side. pad the inside of the right leg if you need to. Relax the shoulders. We just worked pretty hard now, so let's enjoy the rest and the patience and the relaxation and the breath. Let there be a sinking surrender. Surrender. Letting go. If it's appropriate, bring both hands behind the back. Left hand is going to grab the right wrist. Relax the shoulders. So this variation working shoulders, neck, hips, all at the same time. Feel the breath settle into a tranquil rhythm, a smooth rhythmic state. Getting the yin back after our little yang excursion. Take a firmer grip on that right wrist with the left hand and start to pull both wrists up towards the scapula, towards the mid-back. So changing the sensations in the arms here. Just notice your range of motion. Elbows are out like little wings. This is going to add significantly more stress to the upper shoulders and neck. Make sure it's appropriate for your body tonight. And now we'll start our wing flaps. Bring those elbows up as much as you can. You're going to feel that prepare the right wrist for our work ahead. Relax the elbows down. Lift up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to help bring the elbows up higher, and then relax down. So feeling all this sensation in the shoulders, shoulder blades, elbows, wrists. Neck. And then bring the hands together in prayer position. The thumbs resting on your lumbar spine. Palms together. Fingers pointing towards the feet. Relax the shoulders here as best as you can. Now we're going to try reverse prayer if you'd like to. So reverse prayer is going to flip those hands so that the pinkies come along the spine. And we're still trying to keep the hands, the heel palms together, which is going to add the stress to the wrist. The elbows will come in close to the ribs. Fingers point towards the head. Thumbs are on the upper side. So this also has connotations for the arms and the shoulders. It's a very awkward pose for some of us. It grows over time by practice. You'll find that range of motion increases in the wrists and the arms over time. Exhale, release the hands and stack the hands under the head. Take your time. Always slowly release. It's a big pressure right through to the shoulder joint there. Relax the head on the stacked hands. And throughout all the sensations in the neck and shoulders, our hip has been open the whole time. See if that right knee can go out a little further. Opening that right hip a little more. And then coming into the options, elbows under shoulders, Sphinx. Nice to relax the head here, chin down so that neck gets a rest. And of course, the option to try seal pose by bringing elbows out wider, hands wider, and straightening into seal pose. This is really going to hit that left hip flexor now. And once again, all that quad work we did in the beginning, opening the path to this extra range of motion in seal pose. Exhale, release, come down, bring the knee in, hands under the shoulders, and press up onto all fours. Lift the tailbone, rotate the elbows in and forward, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chin. Tuck the tailbone and draw the navel back in towards the spine and up towards the heart. Tuck the tailbone a little more, shoulder blades come apart, drop the chin. Sink back into child. Release the low back. Come up onto all fours. Grab a single block and bring it onto its lowest setting and take a seat on the block. Make sure you have a strap handy. I'm not going to mirror this work, so if it looks backwards, I apologize. Let your right hand pull that left foot back until your left knee is pointing straight ahead. Remain seated on your block. Now the goal here is to support that bottom knee against the floor. If it doesn't push against the floor, take a blanket and really pad it into the blanket so you've got some support there. And if you look to the right side, you should see the bottom of your foot. Take the left knee over the right knee. So the right foot's now on the left. So we've got this big stretch right through the outer hip. The quadriceps have already been stretched, so they should be okay with this. And you work that right foot back until it's at the level where you feel plenty of sensation in that right glute, right outer thigh. Have your strap handy over your shoulder. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders back. Shoulder blades squeeze, crown of the head lifts. All right, now take the strap. We're going to take the strap around the right ankle. So you can see I've got the strap around the right ankle and my left hand is holding it. My left elbow. So now take the right hand behind your back and grab hold of the strap and pull that foot back a little more. If you can actually grab the foot with your hand, by all means. So the right hand's either grabbing the strap, which mine is, pulling it back. So I've got a little twist going on here, right shoulder back. Left hand crosses over the midline of the body, resting over the knee or the thigh. And you can leverage some more twist here by pulling back on the left hand into that right thigh and bringing that right shoulder back a little more. If your hand wants to walk closer to the foot, good. Shoulders back and down. Exhale the head to the left, the opposite direction. So your neck is twisting in the opposite direction to the shoulder. We're going to do some careful head nodding here. Keep that right shoulder back. Now drop the chin slowly to the chest. And hold it against the chest and feel how that changes the sensations in the shoulder and the neck. Inhale, lift the chin, lift and look up, stretch the throat, stretch the throat. Really stretch that throat. And then bring the head to neutral, so the chin is in neutral. Turn the head so it's over the center of the chest. And then release the strap. Hinge forward and bring the fingers down onto the ground. Now if your hands don't reach the ground, bring some blocks and rest your hands on blocks. Gently drop the chin to the chest. Lift the chin up, stretch the throat. Drop the chin to the chest and then start to walk your hands away, reaching out, stretching out those arms and feeling a little more stretch in the low back and that right outer hip. Walk out a little more. And then walk the hands back. And release shoelace pose. Lean back into the hands, stretch the legs out, curl the toes back. I think I just heard some thunder in the background. All right. The thunder in our hips. Let's take the opposite leg through. So left hand pulls that right foot back first, so the right knee points straight ahead this time. And then bring the left foot over and to the right side. Left knee over the right knee. Once again, wherever you need support, use blankets or towels. So support in yin yoga is a good thing, because we're putting so much torque and pressure on the joints for long periods of time. Without support, we could always injure ourselves. So we don't want to be grimacing and like, oh, this isn't right. So figure out, where can I put support? Is it under the left ankle? Is it under the right knee? Is it between the knees, between the thighs? Shoulders back and down, sit up tall. Tune in, is there anywhere that needs support? Now I'm going to take the strap this time over the left ankle that's on the right side. So that right hand has got the strap. Pulling that foot back, so I'm feeling a little more intensity here. And then left hand is going to reach around behind the body and grab that strap. And the left hand is going to pull it back. So suddenly I've got that extra torque as the strap pulls back that top foot. Now the right hand comes across to add the extra torque here. So the right hand pulls against that left thigh, and both shoulders come back and deep press the scapula. So the scapula drops down, shoulder blades drop down. So you sit up tall. So getting into those back muscles by dropping the shoulder blades, bringing the shoulders back and down. Turn the head to the opposite side. That's to my right. Let's try some very tiny adjustments here. So can I pull that left shoulder back more? Can I pull that left foot back more? Can I pull the right shoulder back more? Can I turn the head a little more? Just tiny suggestions of exploration. What's right for my body? Start to drop the chin towards the chest and feel how that changes the sensations in the shoulders. In the neck. The growl of thunder, yum, yum, yum. Inhale, lift the chin up and stretch the throat. Shoulders back as you stretch the throat. Now bring the chin back to neutral and do a very gradual release of the strap, the hands. Returning to Vajrasana, Thunderbolt pose. How about that? Thunderbolt pose and there's thunder. I like that. Don't you love little things like that? All right. And let's explore our block position from the beginning of class. So start with 2 blocks, or 1 block on its side, or the flat block. Feel the quadriceps, the knees. Adjust your position so that you're undistracted. So you don't want too much sensation as we close the practice tonight. Every stage of a yoga pose is a worthy stage. And that simply means we let go of judgments. We adjust and support our joints with compassion. And feel the calm after the storm. Thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.